I feel like this should have happened a lot quicker, but I finally got my hands on the Tamron 20-40 f2.8, so let's talk about this lens. It's taken me a very long time to get my hands on this lens for no reason other than it didn't really appeal to me, if I'm honest. I was trying out the 20-70 for a very long time, and this is arguably its biggest competition now. First impressions of it in my hand, I like how small it is. It feels very light. A lot of people want me to compare this to the 20-70. Don't have the 20-70 on me right now. It is coming back from Sony for a video I want to shoot to compare it directly to this. But yeah, this feels very different in terms of build quality. It kind of echoes its price. It feels as cheap as the price suggests. But one thing I will say I like about it is the fact that you can, like, the zoom throw is pretty small. Like, I can literally flick it with one hand there and go from 20 to 40. I actually don't think I've ever used a lens where you can do that just as quickly and easy as you can with this. It's quite loose, but I think that is designed like that on purpose. If you are a vlogger, if anyone does that anymore. All right, fine, do a vlog, but only because today is, it's disgusting up here. Look, it's a special day. So this is at 20, but if you want to use the stabilization on the A7, or the FX3 like I am right here, you'll actually want to use this, which is your active stabilization, so now there's a little bit of a crop on there. So here's the nice thing with this lens, if you wanted to vlog with it, like I said earlier, you can crash zoom, literally hold it by the lens and zoom in and out just with my finger there. Today is Tuesday, February 9th. 2023, but it happens every year. You could be waiting here a while. There's a train. Oh, yuck. It's pouring with rain. We are going here for something. Pick up the press. A special day. A day I take very seriously. Today is National Pizza Day. I tell you about the features that it had on the lens, but there isn't any. There's no manual focus switch, there's no aperture ring, it's literally a zoom ring and a focus ring. Both feel alright. There's a USB-C port, which I'm hoping is weather sealed. Does this even have weather sealing on it? I mean, it's got a gasket. Oh, it's pretty hard. I don't know how much I'd trust that for weather sealing. Let's flip this to the camera I'm using right now. I am gonna put a step-up ring on, say 67, I think, yeah, 67mm thread, and I'm gonna put two filters on. We have a black satin 3 just here, and then we also have a black Pro Mist 1/8. Yes, I'm stacking them together, and you'll see how that image looks in a second. This, by the way, as well, I'm not shooting at golden hour. That's with this thing, which has a gobo in it, and then creates that effect. Put you on the FX6, like so. There we go. So that is how it looks at 20, and this shot that I set up earlier is not designed for a 20mm look. Let's go into 40 here. It's at f2.8. Even now at 40, that's not really designed how I want it to look. There's too much halation here. I actually had this set up for the 50mm f1.4 from Sigma, the new one. These are meant to be lit. We'll stick with one. That looks alright, a little bit of ambience there. This is an interesting lens because it's much cheaper than the 20-70 from Sony. Quite a big difference in price. In fact, $699 there for the Tamron, and the Sony, which you can't even buy yet, still not out, $1098. So a big difference. But it has less of an appeal to me because I kind of like from 40-70. I do feel like that is a very useful focal range, but I understand the appeal of this lens is the cost. Quick look at sharpness here. Let's go right into the middle at f2.8. So f2.8 and then f4. Look around the 35 here and you see how there's a little bit more contrast around the edge there. So it's definitely a little bit sharper, f4 compared to f2.8, but I would expect that. Generally not that bad for a budget lens. This was shot on the A7R5, so at like 60 megapixels. Really the best way to pixel peep. Now I want to try something a little bit different because I'm going to be taking this lens with me to Yosemite next week to shoot the Firefalls with Sydney. This is the Firefalls here. It looks like something out of Lord of the Rings. So a whole bunch of weather things have to align for this to happen, and it only happens in February. If you have anything you want to know about this lens, you have any questions, you have any tests you want me to perform, pop them down below as a comment, and then I can make my review a bit more interactive in terms of so-and-so asked this. So you have a question, pop that below. I am actually fairly impressed with the autofocus performance as well. It's quick and snappy and doesn't really appear to be any hunting issues, at least when I tap there. Doesn't seem to be bad whatsoever. These are the autofocus settings I was using as well for reference. Huge debate on this lens in terms of f2.8 versus f4. I think we have been very much trained now to believe that you need minimum f2.8 with the lens these days. The f4 isn't sufficient. If you're actually wondering what is the difference between f2.8 and f4, if you go watch this video, which is from before, I'll link it up here. There's literally a section in the video I have done called f4 versus f2.8. Now it's for different lenses, but if you're wondering differences between the two, maybe give that a watch. But the 20-70 f4 is one of those lenses that I really do feel like is going to be a sleeper, much like the FX3 was for the longest time. Everyone thought it was the same as like the A7S3. Not a lot of people bought it, and then a lot of people bought it. You'll realize once you use it, it's a very useful focal length. In terms of the bokeh as well, let's just put a little LED on here, and then you can see how the bokeh looks in the background there. One more time, bring it a bit closer in the back. Let's get a bit closer here and see. You can get pretty close. What is the minimum focus on this? How close can we get? Now you see, normally that is actually written on the lens, but I can't see it anywhere on there. But if we go to B&H's website, right there. Oh yeah, you can get some weird effects with that. Back into 40. This really wasn't much of a video other than a first hands-on, and for me to ask you if you have any questions, you have anything for me to test with this lens that you want to know, you want to find out, you haven't seen anyone else talk about, now's your opportunity. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.